Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for my weekly comic book review, and this one is for January 11th of 2023. So I hope you enjoy. Alright, all those that know this video segment here that have been participating with these, this is where I show you my top three, bottom three comics and all the ones in between. Now, just so you know, these are my opinions. So yours may vary, and that's okay. If your opinions vary, feel free to share your opinions in the comments, but please just try to be a little civil. Now, also on top of that, I don't have all the time in the world to read every single issue that came out, or the money to spend on all of them either. So I do a good selection of what I think I can handle that week. And this week I read 10 issues. So I usually hit the top, the bottom, or in the middle in some sort of order. I give them a score of 1 through 10. Yes, there is a lot of decimal points in this because average means 7. I go by more of a school grading system. 70% is average, which just makes sense because that means they're not terrible, but not great. So there's going to be multiple usually in the 7 area, though I will say this week had some high highs and low lows. So it's pretty good and pretty good mix. So with that said, let's start off. You're going to hear my notes and things like that. I think we're going to start off at the top this time. Let's start with the good before we go to the bad, shall we? So we're going to hit the very top. These are the ones that I would probably recommend reading in most cases. So my number 3 is Ghost Rider number 10 with a 7.9. In the blood-soaked tunnels beneath Chicago and upon the horrid altar of Hell's Backbone, the final fights of the Shadow Country arc come to a startling conclusion. Blackheart, Exhaust Zeb, and his magicians Talia Ward and Ghost Rider himself will all crash together. Not everyone is making it out alive. In the aftermath of these battles, a new chapter will begin featuring new allies, new threats, and the return of some familiar faces. So this is probably not the best starting on point if you're going to get into Ghost Rider, let me tell you that. But I will say, man, this has been a good ride. This is issue 10, and it's already... Every issue has been pretty darn good throughout this series. It really has been good consistently. This cover, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. It's like Ghost Rider's fighting something out of a Doom video game, like Doom 2016 or Eternal. It is really a wicked cover. And the Ghost Rider in this issue, you ready? He has a chainsaw. A little bit of a Doom throwback there again. And it's just brutally awesome. Yes, please. More Ghost Rider chainsaw, especially when he hooks it to his chain. That is just all kinds of wicked. This has a great ending in this issue, too, with a really big surprise. And I'm not going to spoil that surprise on the ending because it surprises you with another character in the Ghost Rider lore. So I would strongly recommend, if you are a Ghost Rider fan, to be reading this series. Go back and get it. If you're not, it's probably not the best issue to pick up to jump into it, but start maybe on issue 11. I do not think that you are going to be disappointed. Matter of fact, if anything, you should be disappointed if you don't get this issue to read. All right, going back to my notes, let me get my number 2 issue. Oh, yeah. This is a series that's been pretty consistent, but it did have a couple low points, and that's Flash number 790. I gave this, you ready? An 8. Yeah. As any super speedster worth their salt will tell you, time can move pretty slow for the incredibly fast. So what happens when an entire armada of conquering speedster aliens show up on Earth's doorstep? The most intense battle the Earth has ever waged in the span of 60 seconds begins. This is the 1 minute war beginning here. So if you're a Flash fan, this is a great starting on point. If you want to dabble in the Flash and you haven't before, once again, this is a great starting point. The 1 minute war begins here, and I think it's a really cool concept that everything is, because they're so fast, happens within 1 minute. You get all these people all of a sudden seem to be freezing. It's just because the speedsters move so fast, so everything is different to them. It's really, really cool. So this is definitely a really cool thing. And I have to say, there was a little chink there in the armor. Come on now, Barry. Not Barry, but Wally, I'm sorry, making veggie burgers. I'm sorry, as a Flash, he needs substance. He's going to be eating meat, but I'm sure he was probably just cooking it for some of the other ones there. This is starting with the story arc is starting really strong. It has great characterization in it. The characters aren't being twisted, manipulated to fit a story. It really does feel like it fits the character. So this, in my opinion, for a Flash fan, is a must read. If you're interested in Flash, it's probably a good time to check it out, even if you're not a major Flash fan. All right, my number one. This one I almost didn't read. This is one of those I thought, oh, it's just going to be a gimmick issue. I'm probably going to skip it because it's going to be a cash grab. Because we tend to see that, especially, for example, here when superheroes have a movie and a character is going to be appearing in one of those movies, they tend to use them in the comic books more, and they usually are nothing more than a cash grab and usually a poorly written story. But this one has a gimmick and a throwback gimmick, and it really surprised me on all points and in a good way. It was Avengers War Across Time #1, and I gave it an 8.5. Yeah, Paul Levitz, the writer on this, I did think did a fantastic job of capturing the characters and what they are. Tremendous job of writing the Wasp, I must say. Some of the best Wasp writing in a long time. Some people might not like her characterized like that, and if you don't, then you don't know the Wasp, especially since the very beginning, and how she would do things to get Hank's attention. Because Hank just, he tends to get fixated on things and not giving her the attention she deserves. Yes, she deserves his Wasp is awesome. She's a great character, solid, smart character, deserved more attention, and she did finally get that. So this book has some solid art, good characterization, great, once again, dialogue, and it really is a nice throwback to the older fans like myself. I think we need more books in this vein today. They don't all have to be a throwback, if you will, but more written like this and displayed like this. We have Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Giant Man, and the Wasp. The classic Avengers against the Hulk, or is it really? On the streets of New York. It's the beginning of a showdown with King the Conqueror. That's what I was talking about the movie tie-ins that will span the centuries. Because as you know, as I said, the movies, they have a movie, the character, all of a sudden you start seeing them. So I figured, okay, we're going to see a Kang story here, War Across Time. But with this set of characters, it makes sense. This is a classic battle between Avengers and Kang. And this is doing an absolutely wonderful job. And the art Alan Davis did, and it is really good too. Colors were great by Rochelle Rosenberg. Absolutely all over. I hit my mic there if you heard that thump. This is, in my opinion, a must-get. Definitely check out this issue. Really good and solid. All right, now, before I move on, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to these people here. Without these people, these videos would not be possible. I mean that. They help out this channel. They sponsor this channel using Patreon, Subscribestar. And with that, by doing that, they get special perks, which you can too. For as little as $1 a month for Patreon or Subscribestar, you can get special videos that are just for you that nobody else will get, or special edition lengthy videos. You also get audio tracks that if you are a video producer yourself, you can use those, as well as some other perks too. So come on in, join the community, never miss a video. We appreciate all of your support. And if you can't afford that, I get that too. These times are rough. A simple like, subscribe, and throw a comment down below would be a wonderful thing. All right, so before I hit the bottom, let's hit the middle. Let's hit the middle of the roads. Ones that didn't quite hit the bottom, but they didn't hit the top either. And I'm going to go with Daredevil #7. Pretty cool cover, not bad. In this issue, Betrayal, as Daredevil, both Elektra, and Matt Murdock have made a home for supervillains at the new stronghold of the Fist. But not everyone they've welcomed shares their vision and how things should be. In this issue, that's going to cost them and put them on a collision course with the rest of the Marvel Universe. As you see, Daredevil does things that are a little bit out of character in this issue. Not a big fan of that necessarily, but then again, Daredevil has done that in the past. This is written by Chip Zdarsky, and I will say I am enjoying this series. This is really a good setup issue, really, if you think about anything, for the next one, because the next issue, you ready, is setting up for a Punisher versus Daredevil war. So in this issue, I will say, there's a couple little tidbits that I really had a little bit of a chuckle out of. When you get the C-list villains helping out, it's pretty cool. We have Speed Demon and Stiltman, for example, helping out in the situation as Daredevil, Matt Murdock, is trying to help them on the way to redemption. So this is pretty good, but it's a little bit slow in the pacing. It's a decent issue, but more of a setup issue for the next one, which I think is going to be I Don't Miss Daredevil issue 7 throwdown between Punisher and Matt Murdock. All right, my next one. This is a series I think has some legs if they would have the guts to make it a continuing series. But being Marvel, they usually are more, let's use flash rather than substance. And that's Monica Rambeau Photon issue number 2. It's a mini series, and that's the kicker right there. It's a mini series of 5 issues, so it's number 2 of 5. And when you have these great characters like this is what I mean by that. Why are we not giving them a better chance than just a miniseries? Now, granted, maybe if they have a next miniseries planned, and if that does good to do it, they've done that in the past. Actually, DC has done it really well in the past with Robin, with Tim Drake Robin. They started with a miniseries, it did well. They did another miniseries, and I think they did a third one, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and check my issues. It did well enough, and then they gave him an ongoing, and it was great. They planted those seeds. People wanted to see more of that character. I think we should do that with Monica Rambeau. It's an interesting throwback cover on this issue, too, as well. And it's nice really seeing, and this is, the new readers won't get this, but classic Avengers reader like me that's read through the whole catalog of Avengers knows that Monica and Dr. Druid had a very, very not great relationship, we'll put it that way. And Eve Ewing, the writer of this, she did a fantastic job displaying that issue there that they had. It is an interesting story, making you wonder what's going next. The art's pretty decent, so Ivan, I'm not going to butcher his name, did a pretty good job here. It's nice seeing a throwback cast of Avengers. I always like to see more Dane Whitman whenever possible, and we got that here. Pretty good issue. I gave it a 7.02, and once again, I think it's worth checking out, even if it isn't in the top 3. All right, the next one's been a pretty consistent book that's hit the top a lot of times, just didn't quite hit it here, and has another throwback too as well, and that's Moon Knight number 19. Yeah, Moon Knight 19. I gave it a 7.4. This issue gives me a Dark Souls vibe. If you read the issue and you know this Dark Souls game a bit, you'll understand. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I've never played the Dark Souls game. I have it on my shelf. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I know the story. And this really gives me that vibe of that. Makes me want to pick up that game and play it. It really does. The Zodiac character is absolutely crazy, and I love it. This guy is a nut. Now, also, too, there is, the stakes are getting raised, because Khonshu has been imprisoned. We should know that if you've been reading in Marvel lore. If not, he is. He's been imprisoned, and while he's imprisoned, his power evidently is not able to reach out as well. And so it's been stated that then, whereas these characters, Moon Knight, could come back from the dead, well, not right now. So it adds a elevated level of complexity there, because if he goes, there's trouble. So Moon Knight delves into the depths of the earth to bring vengeance and justice to the subterranean seas of New York City, while wrestling with new revelations brought to light by savage murder. Meanwhile, what exactly has Zodiac been up to all this time? And another thing too, you see it right on the cover of this issue, we get a character you haven't seen in a long time. Though I will say it looks like he's hit the gym and lost some weight here and got himself in shape. But I'm not going to tell you who this character is. I want you to let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll remember to mention it in the next week's video. Who is this character fighting Moon Knight on the cover? It's a great throwback to a series that I loved, that I wish would have got more attention. So once again, Moon Knight number 19. I definitely think you should check it out with a 7.4. All right, my next issue here. This is one that's had a bit of ups and downs to me. I don't always like what they do with it, but I sometimes find it quite interesting, and it's Savage Avengers number 9. I gave it a 7.01. I will just say I love the throwback cover. If you don't know this cover, you don't know Marvel. This is a classic take of a classic cover that was really awesome. So, anyway, really awesome cover. I love it. And I have a nerdy nitpick here, and this is something we've been seeing a lot in Marvel Comics. In this cover, and this issue, it alludes to that Dane Whitman is not the best Black Knight. The best Black Knight is his daughter, and she'll surpass him and be better. It's not an anti-feminist thing. It's once again that Marvel has to degrade their characters to put other characters up. Dane Whitman's been around a long time. Dane Whitman has been, for some reason, kicked around character in Marvel. It seems like finally they're giving him some attention. He's getting, in movies for him and things like that. A little bit more into comics for that. But why do you got to kick him down then and make him a lesser character? Come on, this is a cool character. He's smart, scientific, but yet he's a mix of science and magic. And a throwback. And the armor's just amazing. Why do we got to do this to him? Once again, and some people might disagree, but when you keep adding new characters with the same name and things, you delude the characters. Now, I know there's a little bit of an interesting twist where they take turns being Black Knight, which is sort of cool, but I actually prefer just the one Black Knight. I wish they maybe have their relationship in a slightly different way, but this one isn't the worst. But let's not have to kick Dane Whitman down to build another character up. That's just my nerdy nitpicks on that one. And this issue, though, is pretty predictable. That's the problem there. So we got cliche writing with, how they treat characters right now in Marvel, and a predictable issue. So this issue only got a 7.01. So David Pepose, the writer, come on now, let's step it up a little bit. Let's not be so cliche. The artist, Carlos Magno, did a pretty good job. Not bad there. It's pretty good. So if you're not familiar with the story, it has a lot to do with Deathlocks and things. We're pretty far into it, so I'm not going to read much of a synopsis on there, but I'm going to tell you this. You do get Doom 2099. And that is pretty darn cool. All right, that was my middle, so now we're going to hit the ones that are at the bottom. The ones I tell people, these are probably ones, in my opinion, that you could just do without. And this does sadden me, because one of the issues on here, I was really hoping for a lot better. And that was Dark Web, Mary Jane, and Black Cat. I think this issue would have been better if it was Mary Jane and Black Cat and get rid of the whole Dark Web thing entirely. I'm not a big fan of the Dark Web story, and I think this is part of the reason. Last time we had Mary Jane and Black Cat, it was great. Great. And I think they could have done that again. This was a great couple of characters together, unfortunately drugged down by a really poor mini-series, if you will, that really doesn't add much of anything. I don't like the whole premise of it. I don't think it fits Spider-Man well, but that's me. You maybe love it. If you like this whole Dark Web thing, let me know. I'd like to hear it. I think the art was good. The cover was great on this. Yeah, but once again, it really could use a better storyline than Dark Web. The story is, how do I put it? It's just a waste of these characters. We have Mary Jane Watson, not Mary Jane Ann Watson, and Felicia Hardy are trapped in limbo and at the mercy of Belasco the Swordsman. And if that wasn't bad enough, they're also keeping secrets from one another. The secret is that Black Cat is interested in Peter Parker, which shouldn't make a whole big deal because Mary Jane is somewhat moved on and with some other dude anyway. So what's the big deal? Now, Mary Jane also has some weird powers. We don't know much about that, and building off of that, which is a bit interesting. So Jed MacKay has some building pieces here, but the whole Dark Web thing is holding it down. The artist, Vinceno, I'm sorry, dude, I'm butchering his name, did a good job, too, and the colors from Brian Rubber are pretty well as there too. So it's just not quite where it needs to be, and I gave this book a 7. Yeah, it fits in just that, which is why I said it could have been so much better. The last miniseries really made this one not look as good. Maybe if that other series wasn't there, I wouldn't feel so bad about this one, but it just didn't do it for me. Now the next one might be a little controversial. It is my number 2 for the bottom is Captain America and the Symbol of Truth, number 9. I gave this a 6.9. Captain America's understanding of his conflict with the White Wolf is flipped upside down when White Wolf unleashes an enemy from Nomad's past onto blah 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 blah. Sam Wilson's first priority is now stopping the onslaught of the Dimension Z before it's too late. And that's the key I wanted to get there. Stopping the Dimension Z. I did not care about the Captain America Dimension Z storyline very much in the first place. I was not a fan of that. And it leaks into Captain America here. Not a big fan of that. But if you are, it's a throwback to Dimension Z, and you have that. Once again, that's for you. The art's decent. This artist is pretty good. It does a good job with this book. It's one of the strong points of this book. And my thought is here, too, as you watch it, if you flip through these issues and look at these panels, they keep making Sam Wilson much stronger than he is. He isn't superpowered strength, so how is he being able to bend metal and things like that? I mean, they're just overpowering him here. They're trying too hard. Meanwhile, while they push down Steve Rogers, they're pumping him up. He's a cool character. Don't get me wrong. I like Sam Wilson, the Falcon. I wish he was the Falcon. Give him a shield and make him the Falcon for all I care. This suit's pretty cool, though. I don't hate it. I just wish you'd still call him the Falcon because it degrades the character. He built his own legacy, and Marvel feels in order to sell him and market him, they have to give him somebody else's name. When he was actually doing a great job building his legacy and really peaked up during the movies, people were like, holy cow, Falcon's cool. And I was like, yes, people finally get it. Falcon's a cool character. He is not a sidekick character. He's an equal character working as a partner with Steve Rogers. We really Marvel needs to learn a little bit more about that too. They keep making, as I said, Sam stronger than what he is. I get it, but just no. This is a decent issue at best. It's just sadly a little bit of a mistake. The writer Toki, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to butcher his name because I know it will. He does okay, and RB Sylvia, the artist, does a pretty good job. I think he's the highlight of this issue. Pretty good colors too. So overall, it's on my bottom. Still not terrible though. As I said, with a 6.9, could have been worse. Just not good. Just not good enough. And my number one at the bottom was sort of saddening, but I guess it's pretty normal. A lot of people have not been interested in this series, like me as well. And that's number 17, Dark Web, The Amazing Spider-Man. Once again, Dark Web, The Amazing Spider-Man 17. And I gave it a 6. Yeah, a 6. I'm just not getting into this. Round one is over. Peter Parker finds himself trapped in limbo. Peter not only has to find his way back home, but he has to do it in a truly hellish fashion. And who is shadowing him? This story was cheese from the very beginning. This is a lame story. I don't care about it. How they depict limbo and what's going on there, I don't care for that at all. It's just, I don't care for it. I don't like what they've done with Ben Reilly. I get he might have been aggravated and things. This just doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he would make such a big turn. For some reason, they like to do that with him. This is mediocre art as well. Zeb Wells, I think, is really dropping the ball with the Dark Web. I want Dark Web to end sooner than it probably should. Ed McGuinness's pencils were, as I said, okay. I just don't picture him for Spider-Man titles. I don't like his art for Spider-Man. It is what it is. The cover is okay. It's just, I don't get it. I gave it a 6, and I will say, the major consumer base is not really caring for it a lot either, based on the metrics that I have been seeing. Well, there you are. That's my top 3, my bottom 3, and the ones in between. Is there something you think I'm missing that I should be reading? Is there something that you think I was wrong about, misunderstanding, besides butchering some names and things like that? I'm human. I make mistakes. Let me know in the comments. Share your thoughts, especially some positive ones. Hey, check this one out. It is awesome. That's how I got to reading that Avengers one. I almost passed up on it, and somebody mentioned it, and I am glad I listened because I really, really did enjoy it. Thank you for your time, everybody. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep it frugal.